Alright, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with some more AlphaStar action. We're going to be having ourselves a good old TVZ, the best matchup in my opinion. So, AlphaStar, this game is going to be playing the Terran, and it will be taking on a ZERG player. Now, this is a match I'm excited to cast here. This is one of the AlphaStar iterations from... It's not the absolute best. It's one of the earlier ones, but it's not the worst in a sense. So I'm excited to see if we're gonna get some variation because AlphaStar has struggled hard. It has been the struggle bus AlphaStar taking on pretty much any ZERG when it plays Terran. Like if the ZERG just plays Turtle and goes to late game, AlphaStar just doesn't understand that messing with like mass Banelings or Ultras or anything really is a bad idea. So we'll see if that's going to be any different in this iteration of AlphaStar. And yeah, we'll just check how this game's going to unfold here. Looks like just pretty normal stuff so far from both of these players. No surprise that AlphaStar is playing standard, as that's just what AlphaStar does. And then the ZERG player. No cheese or anything like that just yet. I'm not going to rule out that possibility or something along those lines. It could definitely happen. Crazier things have happened. And yeah, we'll just wait for this game to get underway here. I mean, every Starcraft 2 game takes a little bit of time to heat on up. It's not as long as it used to be. It used to take like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It seemed like ages for the action to start in older versions of Starcraft 2. Before both races or both players started with 12 workers. So things get started usually after around like 2-3 minutes, and we are cruising on into that 2-minute mark of this game. While things do get started on up though, ladies and gentlemen, as per usual, you guys are the best. You're amazing. You absolutely smash that like button on all these AlphaStar videos. So let's try and break a whopping 27 likes for the Master ZERG supply at the minute. And yeah, if we can do that, that would be great. And of course, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, as I put out these AlphaStar videos every other day, Starcraft 2 videos every day. Enough of that though, Reaper's coming on in. We'll see how well the AlphaStar is going to micro this Reaper. So far doing a pretty darn good job. These Lings having a bit of a tough go at it. It's not good to be one of the first 4 Zerglings in a game of StarCraft 2 because they are always taking the brunt of the Reaper. They did do their job though. They held the Reaper back. No drones died or anything like that for the Masters Zerg, who now just threw up their 3rd base. Reaper for AlphaStar confirms that though. Just gonna hang on out over here. We'll see if it's gonna go back in or do anything else with that. But for now, pretty normal play. Hellions on the way for AlphaStar. That's actually interesting. Whoa, AlphaStar. That's actually kind of curious. It queued up 3 Hellions there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but AlphaStar queued up 3 Hellions, canceled 2, and then restarted 1. Now yeah, that's a little curious. I wonder if that was just like it responding to a misclick or just something that it does. As there's got to be an explanation for why it does that. We want to question every little thing that this AI does, and to that I question it. Now, AlphaStar is making more Hellions. Going to be floating at Starport over to this tech lab. If I had to guess, it would probably be Banshees, because that's what AlphaStar does. AlphaStar does what AlphaStar does, and that is to build Banshees. Now, we take a look here. Drones on the way. Just a handful of Lings on the way for the ZERG player. Just playing a very normal macro ZERG game, which is what I like to see AlphaStar play versus to see if it'll ever do better versus the late game ZERG. It does try and put pressure on though, and it does have these Hellions. It's got the Banshee. We shall see though if that's going to be enough for AlphaStar, which throws up a 3rd command center behind this. So a pretty macro-oriented build coming from the AI. Meanwhile, all of its Hellions are going to be moving out on the map as it keeps hopping around its buildings there. Another Banshee on the way. This time AlphaStar definitely going for that cloak. Hellions cross the map. We'll see if this ZERG player is ready to intercept this. Looks like the Queens are in position. More Lings on the way as well. So pretty good defense so far here from the ZERG player. However, it's when AlphaStar starts with that multi-prong harassment, things get a little bit complicated. So Hellions maybe going to be trying to dive on in while this Banshee harasses the ZERG. Spore crawlers have been thrown up at every base, though, so nothing too dangerous for the Zerg player at this point. Barring him being horribly out of position for the Hellions or something, I don't see anything that could really throw this Zerg player off. He's got the right amount of lings to defend from the Hellions, just a good amount. And then double Evo on the way behind this. So I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing like Lingbane Muter or something. No, as I say that, totally just jinxed it. Hellions for AlphaStar are going to dive on in. Oh, yeah, they're going to get intercepted and surrounded. Most of them going down right out the gates. These Hellions are not going to get a lot of damage done. And they do not. A Banshee's going to head towards the main base, but there's a Spore and a Queen. Another one moving across the map here. But yeah, not AlphaStar's game so far. Looks like it might be able to get a drone or two. That Banshee's Micron gets a single drone with that Banshee. This other Banshee's flying on in. Will anything really significant happen? The answer is no so far. AlphaStar tends not to get a lot of damage done in the early game. And as before those Hellions Kamikaze did, I meant to say the Zerg player threw up a Hydralisk Den and is going to be playing Lingbane Hydra, which I think has got to be a pretty good composition versus AlphaStar. Really just the Banelings, I think, are the main focus, as AlphaStar tends to clump up its Marines, and just to make a lot of Marines. So there's a chance that we could see some big Bane connections here versus AlphaStar. Now, the Terran is going to be getting up towards that third base here. Meanwhile, the Zerg already at 70 workers, so a very healthy economy, a fourth base, a macro hatchery. Just going to help that Zerg get a lot of larvae, and then we'll see if a fourth base is on the way for the Zerg soon. How much he's going to commit to these Hydras, and a fourth base is on the way. Pardon me. Now, let's see. This Queen going to have to deal with these Banshees. They are able to get themselves a few drones. The Queen herself could be exposed in the main base. Oh, yeah, she's going to go down. So there's no range to help zone these Banshees. So AlphaStar finally going to be getting a bit of damage done here. Looks like the Banshee's eating a bit of Spore Crawler shots there so far. It's staying alive. Looks like the rest of the Queens do come in to defend versus this. One of the Banshees disappears there. The other Banshee under fire and also goes down. So that ends the Banshee reign, or so you thought. But no, AlphaStar is always building more Banshees because AlphaStar does what AlphaStar does. Looks like the AI is finally going to be going into, say, Medivacs and things, because there's no tech lab on that starport anymore. However, this last Banshee may be able to get some damage done. Will it? Maybe. There's a chance that the fourth base won't have a Spore. But as far as this game's concerned, though, I'm starting to get worried for AlphaStar right now, because I have never seen AlphaStar do well. I don't believe in like a maxed out situation. It doesn't seem to put too much care into building like the perfect army. It just kind of throws stuff at the wall and sees what sticks. And if this Zerg player, say, gets up a big amount of Banes and AlphaStar goes for an attack, I don't know if AlphaStar would be able to do much. Looks like a lot more Lings are on the way for this Zerg player, who's just firing off a ton of units on a healthy 75 worker economy. So is AlphaStar, though, with mules dropping too. So a very good economy for AlphaStar. No combat, or okay, pardon me, combat shield is finished up. Yeah, but still, I mean, AlphaStar making tanks, making Marines, usually what the AI does, but that doesn't necessarily hold strong for the Terran, pardon me, as just mass Marines tend to have a bit of a weakness, which is any form of AoE, really. And now with these Medivacs moving on in, we'll see if the Zerg's prepared to intercept this. AlphaStar does try harassment and whatnot, so maybe this will stick, maybe this will get some damage, but the Zerg already pulling Lings into position to deal with this. Some of the Marines getting surrounded right out the gate, although this is a pretty solid stance. AlphaStar looks like it does lose one of the Medivacs. It avoided the Banelings, but lost a lot of Marines in that Medivac there, so not a great start for AlphaStar with the harassment. More Marines moving in for AlphaStar, but you may notice that is a disproportionate amount of Marines for Medivacs, so I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a bit of a catastrophe here. The Marines are trying to focus down the Banelings, but no, they all get surrounded and they're all going to die. Why, AlphaStar? Why do you do this to us? Just throwing away just like 20, 30 Marines. I don't know. It just likes to cause so much pain. As someone who plays Terran, it is a painful sight to see that many Marines die. Now, AlphaStar is not dead, but I get the feeling that the AI is going to be at some point here. As it's just not improving its unit composition. It's making more tanks, getting 2-2 on the way, while the ZERG just has got a pretty good bank, is waiting for an opportunity to attack on it. Looks like a bit of a drop, gets cleaned on up. I believe that surviving Medivac is no longer surviving, and I just don't know what AlphaStar is going to do that'll really secure it a W here. It looks like some of these Lings and Bane's going to try and chase back this drop. Bane's actually hit the tank there as these Hydras are repelled, but oh, look at this. All the ZERG is now moving on in. The tanks are starting to siege in time, though, so this could fight actually goes AlphaStar's way. That ZERG was a little bit gung-ho there, pardon me, as I missed just the very start of that, but you guys saw the gist of it. Those tanks repelled that ZERG strong. Now we see the ZERG player going to be getting into a better spot with 7 Vipers on the way. And it's when the ZERG reaches into that late game tech, which we get worried for AlphaStar, because, like, just the mass Vipers are going to knock out the tanks, and then it's really just Marines versus Banelings, which never goes well for the Marines. And, yeah, I don't know, like, AlphaStar took a good fight there because the ZERG was a little bit gung-ho, but still has a long way to go, I think, to come back and, or not really come back, but to win this game. Like, he's got to do something. Otherwise, just keeping making tanks and Marines ain't going to work. Looks like a nice attack down here as the flood of Zerglings are going to surround that Terran army. And those Marines are sent packing. Looks like the Hydras are there. Just enough anti-air to prevent the Medivacs just from floating around. The Mass Viper gonna consume these Evos. Oh no, Zerg player, do not do that. Do not kill your Evo chamber. Oh, that was close. Consuming a lot of energy from his own Evo, which was researching his critical 3-3 upgrade. When Zerg gets 3-3, their units drastically improve. Now let's take a look. AlphaStar going to move down to the bottom right. Drop hits this 5th base. Will it get cleaned on up to? Yes, it gets sent packing. Hydras that were left to the top left actually get killed off by those Marines, though. That's a nice move for AlphaStar, this Zerg player. Potentially just going to go for a big attack here, as he's playing very, very Ling Bane heavy. Not even too many Hydras left at this point. Yeah, only 6 Hydras. This is literally just mass Ling, Viper, Bane. Looks like some units are in position to defend from this drop. How about in the bottom right, though? Looks like this hatchery could go down. More and more units are peeling on in. Banelings hit a fair few of the Marines. Now, these Medivacs could be in trouble this time because there is Vipers to aid here. Is it going to be Parasitic Bomb or Abducts? Looks like Abducts are the answer. There's only a few Hydras, though, but they are enough to gun down those Medivacs. That being said, though, the drop going on for AlphaStar knocks down one of these 2 hatcheries here. I guess, fortunately for the Zerg, he had a spare, but still not a good spot losing that hatchery. AlphaStar keeping the pressure on the Zerg pretty darn well at this point. Now, let's see, Lings and Bane's gonna wrap around these tanks, so those tanks will fall while this Zerg player's just sitting back. Look at that, the mass blinding cloud going down, though, on these siege tanks. Ling's gonna connect right on top of them, and this is why mass tank is not a good idea. Let's see. Yeah, all the tanks are gone. There's a few on the high ground still. All those on the low ground are gone. The hatchery could be, or the command center, going to be under fire here. The returning Marines to help out get cleaned on up, and AlphaStar takes a bit of a walloping there. The Zerg player may still go forward, which is a little bit bold. There's a lot of Marines here. There's not that much Zerg, so could be a bit of an overcommitment as Banelings just roll forward off creep. Yeah, a little bit of an overcommitment there from the Zerg. Quite an overcommitment, as a matter of fact. Losing Vipers he didn't need to lose, losing a lot of supply. Now, how's the Remax, though? Has this Zerg player kept up with their larva production? And the answer really is no, as a matter of fact, as just 3 larvae out, tons of Lings being made, very larva expensive. And so, yeah, the Zerg player not actually having enough larvae to completely replace that army. Lots of Banelings on the way. AlphaStar had that command center take a bit of a beating. Looks like, is he flying it up to the north? Yeah, why not? AlphaStar just says, right, I'm done with this base. I'll take this other one. That last one clearly didn't work out. Now, once again, AlphaStar moving in with the drop could actually just be out multitasking this Zerg player. This Zerg has played like a pretty straight up style, but has really committed to the Hydraling Bane. Is now having to split his army in 3 places as AlphaStar drops the main, is attacking the 3rd base. And oh, look at this. There's a Liberator here. This hatchery could be taken down. The drop in the main should be getting cleaned on up, but then there's a drop at the 3rd base. This hatchery up at the 5th base is getting cleaned on up, and I think AlphaStar, I kind of knocked its late game versus Zerg, but this Zerg player kind of just fell to pieces here as he went for that big attack, and it really just didn't work out for him. And yeah, I mean, AlphaStar, with its macro, it can make a lot of Marine tank, and it's made enough at this point in the game, I'd say, with knocking down this Zerg player's 5th hatchery, with keeping him down on supply, lowering his drone count, constantly harassing this base here. I don't know if AlphaStar is going to really be stopped right now, because this is just a ton of Terran moving on in. These are tanks, these are Liberators, there's a ton of Marines. Blinding Cloud is going to make these units clump up. Liberators get pulled forward. Is there enough Zerg to clean this? Looks like there is. As a matter of fact, it was looking a little dicey there for the Zerg, but he will live to fight another day. However, the concern remains, though, that AlphaStar still has the superior economy. The Zerg player cannot commit on in, and oh, he's going to do that. So many Lings are going to die just needlessly committing into tanks and Liberators with just his Ling fodder there. So he has to replace all these Lings instead of rebuilding up his eco, instead of attacking into something better. And this Zerg player, while he held on there, I don't know if he's going to have another round in him, because that was painful. And AlphaStar, with its insane macro, is just producing 14 Marines at a time. Tanks, even gone back into Banshees for some unknown reason. Apparently just saying, right, that late game Banshee harassment is going to help out too. And that's just the thing, the AI, like, it can focus on a lot of different things. These Lings, are they going to get baited in once again? Looks like the answer is no, as this base is under attack. AlphaStar, or the Zerg player, pulling the Terran out of position. A lot of the AlphaStar's strength comes from the Liberators, the tanks. And so those have to be moved around, but then there is a counterattack moving to the bottom right. Is there enough Zerg to defend here? Another one of these bases could be going down, and it looks like that it will. AlphaStar getting a lick in while losing his own base. AlphaStar also gets one of the Zergs. Fortunately for the Zerg player, they did re-expand to this location in the center, but I mean, that's still pretty painful. This is a close Terran versus Zerg at this point, but AlphaStar does seem to have the lead now. Lots of Marines going to move on in. A lot of Marines, not enough medivacs once again to note. There's another medivac from the rear going to help on out. We'll see if these Marines are going to get on out. Where's the Banelings? So far, they're trading out really darn well. The Banelings will force this army back, but yeah, actually a pretty good trade for AlphaStar there, because it was just the Lings. Oh, as I say that, I might have jinxed and loses one full medivac of Marines. Another medivac's going to go down. These two still remain full, though. This drop will be repelled once again. AlphaStar is showing that in this game, its multitasking seems to be enough in order to keep pulling the Zerg apart, but oh, that medivac getting injured. The Zerg player still just making Lings, still just making, yeah, just making Lings, really. That's been the name of the game. How many Lings have died this game? 547. That is a whack ton of Marines now. I think these medivacs may go down. Yeah, their run ends this time. AlphaStar losing supply. This AI, while it has very good macro, is not efficient, throwing away a lot of units. In come some of these Marines. Once again, they're going to trade out with the Lings, doing an alright job. I'm not sure if that one was worth it. But still, AlphaStar with the space in the top left is keeping its economy going, because it is actually starting to mine out. But oh no, the Zerg player's going for it once again. So gung-ho. Attacking on in, just, oh gosh, that was a terrible engagement from the Zerg. I didn't even have time to react to that, or to hype up how bad of an idea that was. But let me tell you, that was a bad idea from the Zerg player. Now with the double Banshee harassment, AlphaStar is going to take the game in what I'd say was its best late game performance yet. I mean, we can talk about the way the Zerg player played. AlphaStar really just did its standard thing, but the Zerg kind of played into it. AlphaStar just made tanks, Liberators, Marines as per usual, but the Zerg didn't tech up, whereas if the Zerg had gone for, say, Infestors, really focused on getting an economy instead of going for those almost kamikaze attacks into AlphaStar's base, I think it would have just won out in the late game like some Zergs tend to do. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this commentary, if you enjoyed AlphaStar winning the game, press the like for AlphaStar winning the game, and if you feel sympathy for the humans, for the human player for losing, leave a like button for sympathy too. But yeah, of course, if you enjoyed this commentary, you made it to the end, you probably enjoy it, so consider pressing that subscribe button. And also, if you happen to have Discord, feel free to hop on into my Discord. I post there a fair bit. We're getting a nice little community going. And also, I recently added memberships onto the channel. Feel free to check those out if you feel so inclined, but obviously no obligation or anything like that. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. This has been LaughNgamez.